Hello everyone, welcome back to the Hand Spinner Review Spot YouTube channel. You can check out the link below in the description box to go to our Facebook page and take a look at various articles, write-ups, images of all sorts of things hand spinner related. Today we're here to have a look at one of my absolute favourite everyday carry choices in a tri-spinner, and that is the NTO Designs Ternion. As you can see, we have two on the table here, and the reason for that is because I recently received this one, which has their double stack buttons. In this case they're how to pronounce it, Mokime, something like that. Buttons, it's a lamination process of copper and brass, but we won't go on too much about that. We'll just talk about the general gist of these pieces. So let's do a few size comparisons before we go into what really is a very great favourite of mine. So that is it next to a tri-stubby. We'll put it next to a torque bar. We'll put it next to an Axis Micro. We'll do, there we are, we'll do that guy as well. That's a tri-compass from Zero Feud, and no, it's not for sale, I'm afraid. So that gives you an idea of it against various different sizes. As you can see, it's a relatively compact tri-design. It was always originally intended as a relatively mini design, and I think it's one of the absolute best. So let's go a little bit more depth into it. I'm going to keep this one around because it has the button style that really kicked things off for NTO, and because you can definitely order these with this button style. And I'm going to go into why I personally prefer this, and why, though this has been reviewed on the Facebook page, again the link is in the description below, I have, if anything, I now could add many more superlatives to just how good this is based on having now tried it with a double stack button option. So what do we actually have when we look at the NTO Ternion? Now the original Ternion looked something like this. This is a copper version, but it gives you an idea of the overall shape. Now these were originally released as quite a budget-friendly spinner, particularly for US production. I can't remember exactly how much they were, but I know they were around $60, something like that. Obviously this is a limited edition copper one, so these were much more expensive, but ultimately they were a aluminium body with these sort of pointed end sections that flare out, NTOs, rev core, it's a 608 size, but it's got an R188 bearing in the middle, so it can be used to convert R188 spinners or in these designs. And then, as you can probably see, a concave chamfer that runs around the whole piece. Now these were very good, they're still hugely popular. You can get all sorts of different colour finishes of these via the NTO website, and they're still a really, really good choice. But after some reviews by some other people and some feedback and comments given to Freddie at NTO and the other guys there, they decided to do a version 2, which is where this one comes in. As you can see, it's a relatively similar design. This is in the same aluminium frame that you would have had in the more basic Ternions originally, but obviously now we have some cylindrical brass weights. These have since been done in several other materials. You can get tungsten ones and all that kind of thing. You can get stainless steel, there's even flamed stainless steel I think now, but it's an aluminium body. It's got a brass rev core in this case. They have been done with other finishes as well, and yeah, it's just a very, very pretty design. But one of the key things that changed, on top of the obviously these barrel brass weights which take away that point at the end and give instead this rounded finish, is that they also decided to get rid of that concave chamfer and instead put a chamfer on that's crowned, so it's a rounded, very, very smooth chamfer, which should be much more ergonomic, and indeed is much more ergonomic than the original design. And it was just a stroke of genius, really. It happened very quickly, and it was really the right move to make. Let's have a look at it in its standard form. This is an excellent spinner. You won't be able to see, or you might be able to see, it throws off so many beautiful light shows. It's just, the reflections of these are fantastic. Now they're available in other finishes. You can get them in a blue anodized finish. There's a limited edition red one that's just been released on the website, very close to the time that this is being uploaded, and there's a black version as well. They all look great, they look really good stationary, but I'd really be hard pressed to buy one in anything other than this machine finish because of the effect that you get off of it when the light catches it. It's just fantastic. Now with these weights you get an aluminium spinner, but it goes for a really long time. You can get 5 minutes out of these vertically, which is really impressive. They're about 55 grams there or thereabouts, which is a relatively common sort of weight for a hand spinner. but it just works so well, and they feel so fantastic, and they have such a lot of rotational momentum because of that outside mass being really thrown a long way away from the bearing. It's just really excellent. So, what were the problems with this early design from my point of view? Not many, to be absolutely honest. It feels fantastic. There is no sharp points, there's no hot spots. It's fabulously fast to flick any direction, feels great. It's just really, really very, very, very good. The only thing that I dislike about them is the buttons. It's that simple. They're a magnetic button. Now, on certain spinners, the Thrax being one of them, I don't have a problem with magnetic buttons at all. As I mentioned in my review for the rebar from NTO, I'm not a huge fan of these ones, purely because of the fact that I always find they kind of twist and swivel in the body. They don't feel... Well, they are secure, but they don't feel as secure. And they're also really quite small. As you can see, they sit into this indent within the rev core. Hopefully you can see that. This is an R188 hybrid ceramic 8-bore bearing. Very, very good quality from NTO. They sit inside there, which is absolutely fine, but it just means that everything's quite compact. Your fingers are very close. It's quite a pinched grip. Everything just feels a little less secure and a little less intuitive for me personally. So I always wanted to try these with the double stack button. Now, these original ones, like the rebar, as I mentioned, that they came to me via Fabian at Finspace, via him, but from Freddie, and they're going back. But because they're going back, and because I like the Ternion so much, I decided to go and get one for my own collection, and that would be this one. This is exactly the same as this, no different at all, although it has these Mokume. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I hope I am. Double stack buttons. Now, these double stack buttons can be purchased directly with the Ternion. When you go to their website, there's a drop-down menu where you can select the style of button you want, or they can be purchased separately and added on to orders in a variety of different materials, and there's some nice sort of machined designs on a few of them as well. These ones are an exotic material, and I'm a sucker for exotic materials. I'm sorry, I just am. So they're what I went with for what I think is a fabulous spinner and one that I'll use a lot. It's just perfect with these. It's one of the absolute best hand spinners on the market, and I firmly believe that. There's very few things that I would pick up and be happier to use than an NTO Ternion. It looks beautiful as it spins. The buttons, when they're these double stack style, they've got a fantastic dished concave to them that feels so secure and so comfortable. They move your fingers, as you can see. There's more distance there, so it's less of a pinched grip. It feels more comfortable and less restricted. And any move, I mean, they fidget so well. Is it quite as good to fidget with as an Axis Micro? No, probably not. It's probably just a hair off that. But aside from that, everything else is just so fantastic. It's dead smooth on a single finger spin. Absolutely dead smooth. And it just feels so satisfying, and it's never uncomfortable. Honestly, if you are someone who's building a collection, or someone who's only going to buy one tri-spinner, if you told me it was going to be the Ternion, particularly with the double stack button, I would be more than happy to tell you you'd made a great decision. If you don't have one of these in your collection, if you're more of a collector and you use various different designs, you should pick one up. What else can I say about these? They genuinely are that good as far as I'm concerned. They're just brilliant. Wonderful work by Freddie and Co at NTO, and they deserve all the props they get for this one. Thank you very much, guys. See you at the next video. Bye bye.